Good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in your part of the world. This is King B with another video. So you see the title on the screen. Doctors warn about two new COVID variants. What to know about FLiRT strains. So let's get into this and see what this article is talking about. And this article published by Prevention, and they released this article 5 hours ago. About a 5-minute read. Let's get into it. Okay, table of contents here. FLiRT COVID-19 variants KP.1.1 and KP.2 are spreading in the U.S. The current COVID vaccine may not protect against them as well as previous variants. It's not clear if these are more infectious than other variants. SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, keeps churning out new variants. The latest is a duo, KP.2 and KP.1.1, known as the FLiRT variants. And they're sparking speculation about a summer wave of new COVID-19 infections. One FLiRT variant, KP.2, is now the dominant variant in the U.S. and has been quickly increasing in cases over the past few weeks. KP2 now makes up nearly 25% of COVID-19 cases in the U.S., according to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Meet the experts. Thomas Russo, MD, Professor and Chief of Infectious Disease at the University of Buffalo, New York. Amesh A. Adalja, MD, Senior Scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. But KP2's sister variant, KP.1.1, also rising in the ranks and currently makes up 7.5% of COVID-19 cases in the country. So, what are the FLiRT variants and how concerned should you be? Infectious disease doctors break down the latest strains. What are the FLiRT variants, KP.2 and KP.1.1? The FLiRT variants are the collective name given to KP.2 and KP.1.1. These are descendants of JN.1.11.1, a spinoff of JN.1, which was the most common variant in the U.S. until last week, explains Thomas Russo, MD, Professor and Chief of Infectious Disease at the University at Buffalo in New York. The name FLiRT isn't random. It's based on the technical names of the mutations, according to the Infectious Disease Society of America. These are part of the Omicron family, Dr. Russo says. They're like siblings. There's not a lot of detail about these variants available at the moment, but preliminary research shows that KP.2 has 3 changes in its spike protein compared to JN.1, Dr. Russo says. In case you're not familiar, the spike protein is what SARS-CoV-2 uses to latch onto your cells and infect you. How contagious are the FLiRT variants? It's worth pointing out that the portion of cases caused by KP.2 is increasing while the portion of cases caused by other variants is decreasing. That implies that there is something about KP.2 that gives it an advantage over the others, Dr. Russo says. It looks like KP.2 is less infectious than JN.1, but more immune evasive, which is why it's increasing in prevalence, Dr. Russo says. Should I be concerned about the FLiRT variants? As of now, doctors say there's nothing to suggest that the FLiRT variants are any more concerning to the general population than other recent COVID-19 variants. However, Dr. Schaffner points out that there is some early data that show KP.2 may be able to evade the protection from the vaccine a little more than previous COVID vaccines. More on that in a moment. As SARS-CoV-2 continues to circulate, it will always be generating new variants, says infectious disease expert Amesh A. Aldalja, MD, senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. How can I distinguish FLiRT from other variants? Doctors say that's pretty tough. There's nothing that you or your doctor would notice that would indicate that you have a FLiRT variant as opposed to another COVID-19 variant, Dr. Russo says. In fact, the only way that the CDC has data on different variants is through genomic sequencing, which look at the genetic code of the virus to see which variant you have. And that's not something you get from even the best at-home COVID-19 tests, or that your doctor would get from a rapid test in their office. So what are the symptoms of the FLiRT variants KP.1.1 and KP.2? Doctors say it's hard to tell for sure right now, but Dr. Schaffner points out that previous variants haven't looked that different when it comes to symptoms either. According to the CDC, these are the most common symptoms of COVID-19: fever or chills, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headache, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, diarrhea. Still, the loss of taste and smell seems less common now, Dr. Schaffner says. It could be because of changes in the virus itself or because people have developed more immunity, either through vaccinations or being infected, he says. We're all experienced now with COVID, he adds. Is there a vaccine for the FLiRT variants? Yes. The COVID-19 vaccine is protective against the FLiRT variants, although there is data to suggest that it might not be as effective as it's been against other strains. That just don't make no sense to me. That don't make no sense to me. There's a vaccine, but the vaccine it may not be as effective. That don't make any sense to me. It may be off to the side a little bit in regards to protection from the vaccine. Dr. Schaffner says protection is not zero, but it's not quite as good as it was before. Well, I don't recall it being good before either. It wasn't working. I mean, I may be wrong. I didn't get that the vaccine, but I recall, if I'm recalling correctly, it really wasn't working in the first place. Do your research on that. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you're in a high-risk group and you haven't gotten the updated vaccine, Dr. Schaffner recommends getting it to increase your protection throughout the summer. For sure, when the new vaccine comes out in the fall, we should all get it, he says. Do the FLiRT variants increase the risk for long COVID? That's not clear. This is still very early days, Dr. Schaffner says. As of right now, there is no indication that the FLiRT variants are any more risky for developing long COVID than other variants. However, that may change over time. The bottom line, the FLiRT variants are just the latest in a long line of new variants that have surfaced from SARS-CoV-2. These strains are new to the scene and researchers are still learning more about them. However, they do seem to be more infectious than previous variants. If you have symptoms of COVID-19, doctors recommend testing yourself and doing your best to prevent the spread of the virus, especially if you spend time around people who are high risk for severe complications of the virus. We're underestimating the severity of COVID-19, Dr. Russo says. Stay up to date with the latest COVID guidelines, and if you test positive, wear well-fitting masks to protect others. And that's about the end of this article. It says this article is accurate as of press time. However, as the COVID-19 pandemic rapidly evolves and the scientific community's understanding of the coronavirus develops, some of the information may have changed since it was last updated. While we aim to keep all of our stories up to date, please visit online resources provided by the CDC, WHO, and your local public health department to stay informed on the latest news. Always talk to your doctor for professional medical advice. And that's the end of the article. Take what you will from that article. Um, you know, for those of you watching this video, if you have taken the vaccine or if you haven't, take what you will. Do your research. As I always say, do your research and you make the best decision that you can make for yourself as an individual, as an individual. So I'm not gonna tell you anyone you should take it or you shouldn't take it. You make that decision for yourself. And you should only make that decision for yourself. Don't let anybody persuade you any other way. You're responsible for your vessel, right? You're responsible for your body. Okay? So whatever you decide, you make that decision. Whatever you decide is best for yourself. That's what's important. And you go by that. Just make sure you do a thorough you research thoroughly and get all the information so you can make the best decision for yourself. Okay? Me, I know what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do. I'm not putting nothing foreign in my body. But that's me. And that's how I feel, and based off of my own research that I've done, and that's the best decision I make for myself. And as I stated, everyone else, is up to you on what you're going to do. But me, I know what I'm going to do and what I'm going to continue to do, just like I said in my previous video that I dropped earlier, my exercise video, right? Exercise is very important, very important. It's because you can raise your frequency when you exercise. You get your heart pumping. Your heart is a muscle. Your heart is a valve. You get your heart pumping, start pumping that blood through your body. Your cells get to activating and vibrating at a faster rate. Next thing you know, you vibrating at a higher frequency, right? You heat up. And you start to sweat, your body will start to sweat out whatever impurities that you may have in your body, right? That's what I do. And as well as other type of herbs and whatever that you can look into, that you can take as well. Just like I was talking about in my last video, my exercise, my workout video. Check it out if you haven't. Okay? But this just another video, news video. Again, this article was released 5 hours ago by Prevention, and if you look online, other news agencies have already put out information about these two new strains. Okay, so again, do your research. Make the best possible decision you can make for yourself. All right? And do what you need to do for yourself. And that's all I got. Stay informed. Love yourself unconditionally. Keep your loved ones close. Talk about what's going on. Stay prepared. Make plans. Make sure you have numerous plans. So whatever decision, whatever circumstances you may face, you are prepared to handle it. You know exactly what to do. Protect the babies, protect our children, very important. Protect our women. Shout out to all the natural women out there. That's all I got for you. This is King B. To the next video. Peace.